What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the event. Hope you had a lovely break. Hope you took some time away from your computer just to give your eyes a break. But I also hope that you are using the Slack channel to meet, network, and mingle with other conference attendees. And it's the afternoon session, y'all. It's time to keep this party going. A couple quick reminders. So, we have this engagement contest going on. Remember, the top 3 people who watch the most sessions will nab a $25 to $100 Amazon gift card, and the top 3 people who ask questions in the most sessions also eligible for those gift cards. Attendees can learn more about qualifications at the link I'm about to put in the chat right now. So the point is, keep the chat going. Hang out, ask good questions, and keep on learning. And don't forget about the exclusive Slack workspace. I'll make sure you have that link in the chat too. And of course, thank you to our sponsors, CleverTap, Appier, and LifeStreet. Without them, this event would not be possible. Please visit their virtual booths. Link coming in the chat and in the Slack as well. All that being said, it's time for your next presentation. This is all about ad monetization. So I'm going to bring up your producer right now, your host, the producer of Tactile Games. Please make some noise for Murad Muskov. Murad, welcome to the party, buddy.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Thanks for the introduction.
Yes.
I hope you had a great experience so far. And thanks, Mobile Growth Summit, for having me there for the second time. It's really an honor for me. So this presentation is called Ad Monetization Practices from the Trenches, and it will be the intense one because there is not a lot of time, but a lot of insights that I want to share. So first thing first, a couple of words about myself. So my name is Murad. I'm a producer in Tactile Games, and funny, but it's been just 3 weeks in Tactile for me, so I won't share any Tactile experience or answer any questions about Tactile, but I share some insights from my previous company where we were like super experienced with ad monetization, and some insights from the market, like what are the best practices. So talking about ad monetization, a lot of developers, they have a lot of concerns about it. So the most popular concerns about ad monetization are that it will cannibalize your in-app purchases, that the players will go nuts about it because players like hate ads, like it won't fit your game in terms like design-wise. And the last one is that the income is unsatisfying from the ads. And we will dispel all the doubts about the ad monetization during this presentation, and I hope it will help you to like accept the necessity of monetizing your game with ads. So don't worry about ad monetization. We will go step by step with all these concerns, and just a quick disclaimer. So all games, they are unique. So these insights that I will share, of course, they are like the most popular on the market, like the best practices, but you need to remember that your game may behave differently. So whenever you want to monetize your game with ads, just do the A/B testing. Do it step by step. Don't push your users, and that will bring you like a lot of profit. So to our presentation. Here you see the data from the Facebook Audience Network research from November 2020. So they tried to find out, is it okay for users to have ads in games? And surprisingly, 33% of users said that rewards from the ads was good. 38% said that ads helped them to unlock some gameplay features. 31% said that they liked what the ads were showing. And 30% said the ads didn't interrupt their gameplay. If you will look into Google Play and App Store reviews, you will see that among the most popular games like Brawl Stars, Garden Skips, and Knives Out, there are a lot of users who are like complaining that there are no ads in those games. Like, why not make gems for videos? The second user, she just complains that they removed video ads from their game. And the third one, they just begging for adding ads in their game. And as you will see, some of the biggest players on the market like PUBG, Candy Crush, and Coin Master, they all use ads in their games. Here you can see a chart from the Game Refinery research, and it shows you the percent of the games in US that have incentivized videos. So 39% of casual games have video ads, sports and driving games about 34% have ads, and you see the rest, so I won't just repeat the slide. Let's talk about the format. So the format of this presentation will be like this. I present you the format of ad monetization. I'll tell you about the best possible placements of this format, and then I will tell you how to set it up and how to squeeze all of it. So the formats, like the all known formats, are rewarded videos, interstitial, video static and playable, banners, offer walls, redirecting and service. It's not official name, just how I call them. Native banners, static and video, and audio ads. So let's go one by one. Rewarded videos. Here you can see some of the ad networks that provide rewarded videos. Actually, there are a lot of more, like dozens of them. So here you see AdColony, Facebook, Unity, Ironsource, Google AdMob, AppLovin, but there are also such networks as Chartboost, Mintegral, Vango, and dozens of others. So they all perform differently, and to give your game the best performance and of course gain the best revenue, you need to optimize your rewarded videos. But at first, let's see where you can place your rewarded videos. So the most popular practice is to place it just on the main screen. So on the left, you can see the example of the game called Empires and Puzzles. On the right, you see the game from Rovio called Small Town Murders. So both these games, they have a placement on the main screen. The player clicks it, they will see the rewarded video that will just give them some rewards. Even Call of Duty Mobile uses this type of placement, so they have a button, but it won't call the rewarded videos. Instead, it will take you to another screen where you can watch the rewarded video and earn a token. And then you can draw a token and play in this gacha system to receive some random awards. So they have even some meta progression within the ad monetization, which is really good because gamification is the key. The second most popular placement is within the bank or in-game store. It's a good way to lure your players constantly in your in-game store and, give them ad-based price, like a taste of your in-app purchases. So you say, here is something for free, but you see there are a lot of things that you can buy with real money and they will give you even more value. That's a good way to show your players some new offers on a daily basis. The other practice, it's popular for mid-core and casual games, is to add some booster or bonus before you start the core gameplay session. So what's important about ads? You shouldn't interrupt the playing flow. So you can just put your ad inside the core gameplay, just interrupting the player. So this game, it's Matchington Mansion from Firecraft. So they add free booster before your core gameplay session. Some games give you boosters for ads after your core gameplay session. For example, if you lose or if you want to double your rewards. Some games even have both, like Property Brothers. They have the rewarded videos before core gameplay session and they have rewarded videos after core gameplay session. It's like you can go wrong with a lot of rewarded videos. Some games make you to unlock some content or reduce the waiting, because a lot of game mechanics, they're dependent on timers and waiting, and you can shorten that time or even skip it by watching the rewarded videos. Here is an example of Merge Magic. So you can just continue playing by watching ads and you receive an additional playtime with your characters. Of course, rewarded videos are really popular in hyper-casual. A lot of hyper-casual games have either an option to continue playing or to double your rewards, as I already mentioned. And sometimes they have the exclusive content, which can be unlocked by watching the rewarded videos. So you can get it any other way except watching rewarded videos. Interstitial video. I won't repeat about the providers because they are pretty the same, but I will tell you more about this format. So it's when the video or static banner it appears without players calling for it. So it's something that players never ask for. And what's good about interstitial video is that players can skip it. So whenever interstitial video appears, you see the timer and you see the skip button when the timers go to 0. And the right example is the example of playable interstitial video, because I don't split it as an additional or extra format. And I think that is just a part of your monetization strategy if you add interstitial videos. So the other popular format is banners. So the most popular practice is to place your banners just in the bottom of the screen. Sometimes you can see it on the top of the screen. And actually, a lot of hyper-casual use it, but right now banners are like declining formats, so there are not a lot of mid-core or casual or hardcore games that use banners. And talking about the best practices, so you shouldn't put your banner in a area where players interact with your game, so to avoid the misclicks, because it's a bad practice. And talking about the hyper-casual games and monetization, the overwhelming amount of ads, of interstitial ads and banners, it even allowed developers to create something like an in-app purchase called no ads. So you just pay real money to avoid viewing a lot of ads. Okay, let's say how to set up your ad monetization. So I will give you an example of dashboards of different ad networks, and I will do it for some reason, but I will tell you about it a bit later. So here's an example of TapJoy dashboard. If you want to create a placement, you just choose a format like rewarded video or interstitial video and click create. Then you get the different formats for different platforms. So you can see we have video ads for Android and iOS, we have skipped, that means interstitial video ads for Android and iOS, etc. And if you go into this placement, you can set it up and maybe change something. Here's an example of dashboard of Iron Source. So it's pretty similar. You see the formats on the top and you see the settings of the format. So all the ad networks, they have a really detailed documentation. So I haven't seen any ad network which just goes, oh, do whatever you want. They also give you some instructions. And the only thing that you need to be aware of is where you can find this instance ID, which I spotted for you in red. So this highlighted instance ID is the thing that you need to implement in your game code in order to get the data from the dashboard, and vice versa. Here is an example of Mintegral dashboard. So you can see the placement, the instance ID, so everything pretty similar for different ad networks. But some ad networks have some fancy settings. So in case of Mintegral, you can set the time before class button will appear. It's for interstitial videos, so you can set the amount of time when you can skip the video. And here is the Chartboost dashboard. In Chartboost, for example, you can block your competitor ads. So, for example, you don't want some competitor app to be advertised in your game. You just block it by using your bundle ID. And here is the dashboard of TapJoy again. So you can even segment your users using some basic segmentation like country, or even using the ad behavior, like how much ads they view, do they click it, do they install the games that are advertised, etc. You can even choose the maximum impressions, the impression frequency, and even set the default sound status like mute or unmute. What's also important to know is that you need to look out for app ads txt in all the ad networks you are using. That's important because it helps you to increase the efficiency of your ad inventory, because it helps a lot of DSP, so demand source platforms, to buy your ad inventory. And some ad networks, they just have the dedicated button in the dashboard, and with some you need to talk to your personal manager. And you just compare this app.txt from different networks. You do the big app.txt file and upload it to your website. Some ad networks, they provide you the A/B testing opportunity, and the solution from IronSource is really good with that. They have this level play solution that helps you to A/B test your ad monetization strategy and creatives if you do the user acquisition. And if you want to squeeze the best from all the ad networks out there, you should use the mediation. So there are several mediation providers. Here an example, you see TapDuckY from Tapjoy. There are also AdMob, so mediation from Google, AppLovin Max from AppLovin, obviously. We have mediation from IronSource and maybe some other. And actually, the mediation from IronSource, it performed better than others for my previous company called PHP. And we had a great experience with AdMob mediation. So maybe you should just look at that direction. Of course, you can use something like the most popular mediation on market from Twitter, but the choice is yours because they all has pros and cons. So when you go to mediation settings, you have all these demand sources. So it's the ad networks, and you see highlighted the ad formats which they are providing. You can add all the ad networks you want to use, and then you go to the settings of the placement. In this case, it's rewarded video, and set up the waterfall. So why do you need that? It helps you to create some competition between ad networks, because when there is no competition, it's a monopoly, and they won't give you the best prices, so you won't get that much revenue as you expect. In this case, you create some kind of auction, so you make them to fight for your ad inventory. You set up the waterfall, you just give the price limits from the top to the bottom, and you see which ad network performs at which price level. So you need to experiment a lot with that to squeeze the best experience from that, but it's worth it. The next format is offer roles. So this is what I call redirecting and service. Right now, Apple affords only service offer roles. So when you use an offer role, you can only have survey offers in there. On Android, you still have some redirecting offers. That means that you need to download some other game, reach, for example, level 5, and then you receive reward in your game. So what are the best practices of placements? Actually, they are pretty the same as for the rewarded videos. So you either place it on the main screen, like in this example, NetGuns, the game from my previous company, or you can use it when you, for example, run out of resources and you want to replenish the amount of this soft currency or hard currency, whatever. So this is Kim Kardashian Hollywood. You can watch short video, so it's a rewarded ad, or you can take an offer. So how the offer wall looks. Here you can see the offer wall from Kim Kardashian Hollywood. So the best practice is to create your own design for offer walls, so it won't break the player experience and give them like something smooth. And as you might see, the offers are pretty the same. So it's the example from Android. So you just need to install some games and reach some specific goal in those games to receive the reward. And here is an example from Pixel Gun. So all these games, they do their own design. How to set up the offer wall? Actually, it's pretty similar as in the previous example. So you create the placement, then you go in the settings. Here you can set up the exchange rate, so how much your currency you will get for $1, and you can do the visuals. So create the header, create the icons for your currency, etc. In some ad networks, you even create the special offers for offer walls, and it really worked well for Tapjoy, with Tapjoy for my previous company, because we created this 2x offers for some holidays, and it increased the engagement. And here is the example of survey wall. So it's the type of ads where you just use service instead of offer wall, and you can also make your own design, and you even have some opportunities to increase the engagement by creating the consecutive offers. The next format is native banners. It's pretty young format, but there are already a lot of providers on the market. So it's Sayolo, Adinmo, AdMix, Anzu, Adverty, maybe some others. It's actually a product placement, so it works really well for the games with 3D environment, and especially for the games which has like modern or a cyberpunk setting. for some racing games, for some sports games. So for example, you have a city builder game and you can just add a billboard with some ad on it. And what's good about this ad format is that it doesn't break the player experience at all. So it won't interrupt your players, and it can even add something, because if, for example, you are playing in some kind of Tokyo kind of map, you see a lot of ads and it just adds to experience because, well, it's seems realistic. How to set up the native ads or product placement. Here's an example of AdMix dashboard. So you create a placement using the AdMix plugin, which you integrate as SDK in your game, and then you receive a new button in your editor. So for example, if you're working with Unity, you will have the AdMix placement within the Unity environment, and you can literally put it inside your game like an object. So you can even wrap it around some objects. So it's really convenient and user-friendly. And the last format is audio ads. It's like the freshest format out there on the market. I know only one company which uses it. It's AudioMob. So it's pretty similar to what you have in Spotify or other music apps. So you have the audio ads. And the placements are similar as with the rewarded ads. So you just add the button where you want a user to call for audio ad, and they will just listen to the ad without interrupting their playing experience. So they can even continue playing while they listening to the ad. It's maybe interesting. And right now they partnered with Quali, so I think we will see a lot of hyper-casual games with audio ads in coming months. Actually, that's all I wanted to say about ad formats, and I think there will be a lot of questions about it. So whenever you want, you can contact me in our Slack chat, or maybe you can contact me directly on LinkedIn. I will always answer all your questions. If you need any contacts from your ad networks, like you need a personal manager, I can give you that contact. And I hope that it will help you to monetize your games with ads and well, go and monetize your games with ads, because that's what we do right now with free-to-play market. And I hope it will be helpful. Thank you very much for your attention. And that's all with my presentation. I know it was intense, but I hope it makes some sense for you.
Murad, great job, buddy. We do have a couple of questions in the chat. I think we have time to go through them. You cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay, the first one is from Benjamin. How do you know if your ad channel is reaching a point of fatigue and if you need to change providers? Or is it the content/quality of the advertising that is the issue? Or is it a mismatch between target and intended audiences?
Well, that's a good question. And actually, if you want to understand how your ad source or ad network performs, you need to analyze your data constantly. So all the ad networks, they have dashboards where you can compare your data like quarter over quarter, do the A/B tests and all that stuff. Especially if you're using mediation, it's easy to compare different ad networks, different ad sources, even different formats. So for example, you can see how rewarded ads performs comparing to interstitial ads. And then you can understand what audience does it reach, what revenue do you get, and then you can find the sweet spot where you will receive the top quality for your game. So you need to track the KPIs from ad network dashboards or mediation dashboards and compare that with your analytics or your maybe store data, because you need to understand how players react on the ads, because you don't want to lose retention for some small revenue or to get your players mad. You need to maintain the golden balance, if that answers your question.
Cool. We have another question from April. Which admon type do you usually see the most revenue from?
Well, I think it's rewarded ads, because it's the easiest formats to integrate, and it gives the most, it maintains the balance between getting players engaged and not driving them nuts. And that's why it's the best type of format for me, because you can use it in so many different type of genres and it will work. And it's easy to reach the best performance using the mediation, the waterfalls, and maybe some in-app purchases combined with that monetization. So it really works well. So if you want to start monetizing your game with ads and you don't know where to start, I recommend to look at the rewarded ads.
Cool. And two quick fire questions here, buddy. Terrence wants to know, with regards to unskippable ads, in your experience, how long is the best length for an ad that gamers are okay with?
Not longer than 30 seconds, but I've seen that some games use 10 seconds, and that's like, wow, for players. They are super cool with that, but you don't use more than 30 seconds. So that's just like a standard.
Cool. And last one, there's a lot of free-to-play games with advertisements geared towards children. So aside from ethical implications, are there any legal implications to advertising this way that you have to think about? This question is from Tara, by the way.
Yeah, of course, you have to look out for like the general legal acts like GDPR, COPPA, etc., as you do when you like just publish your game. But in terms of the ad content, some ad networks, they can provide you with filters. So you can filter the content like 18 plus or 13 plus, and you can filter it by categories. So you don't want to advertise gambling or maybe alcohol in your game because it's just targeted for young audience. Then you can do that. For example, if you use Apple Deal, they do a lot to track their ads and to make categories work.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much, Murad. And thank all of you for your questions. Tara, Terrence, April, Benjamin, everyone in the chat, boosting that community up. We appreciate all of you. Murad, we will see you in the Slack as well, right? You're hanging out over there?
Yeah, I'm waiting for your questions and giving you hugs and lots of love. Thank you for this time.
Very cool. Awesome. That's Murad Muskov. Thank you so much for your expertise. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. Just a reminder, Q&A, hit it up at the beginning of every session, at the end, whenever you want to get those questions in. And we are giving away prizes for people who are being active in the chat. So make sure you are doing that. And like Murad just said, he's going to be in the Slack. So you should be in the Slack too. Come hang out with us, come network, and we will see you in the next session. Big round of applause for Murad. See y'all soon.
Bye.